My boyfriend won't stop telling me I have BO. Update included. My husband has a second family. Update included. My fiance cheated on me with my father. Update included. Hello, welcome back. Today we are hunting down Reddit stories that are just ripe with audaciousness. I mean, I'm talking stories that'll make you, right? Just, okay, we're done with that. False. All right, first story. My boyfriend won't stop telling me I have BO. Update included. Okay, if this is one of those things where doctors discover like a new fungus or something, I'm screaming like a teenage girl in Jaws. Like I'll edit it out for you guys' audible experience, but my terror will be visible. I have been with my boyfriend for over a year and everything has been great, except for one thing. Every single day, at least once, he will tell me that I stink and smell of BO. When we met, I showered every day, applied regular deodorant in the morning, brushed my teeth 3 times a day. Now I am so paranoid about smelling bad that I shower at least twice a day. I apply new industrial strength deodorant every few hours. I have a reminder on my phone. Perfume. And I brush my teeth anytime I eat or drink something that isn't water. I feel like I'm going crazy. I don't think I smell bad in the beginning, and I don't think I smell bad now, but I obviously smell bad to him, right? I'm that weirdo that keeps sneakily smelling their own armpits. I have been to the doctor, and he said there is nothing medically wrong. It has honestly gotten to the point where I literally shove my armpit in friends' and family's faces and ask if I smell bad. They all say I don't smell like BO at all. One friend even said I smelled too clean, like a Lush store. I'm getting so paranoid. He won't cuddle or anything when he says I smell. I really don't know what more I can do. Okay, before we read the update, if it makes you feel any better, I regularly smell my shoulder cave, but without the negative feedback, because the smell of BO is so repulsive to me, because it just smells like locker room taco meat. It smells like beef that's just been cradled by a jockstrap or something. Update. So, unexpected edit. I waited for him to make a comment this morning so I could talk to him. It was less than an hour after waking up that he said, "God, you stink." I had already showered and put on deodorant. I snapped and asked what exactly was he smelling, because at this point I'm one of the cleanest people on the planet, and if I smelled bad to him, then we should just break up. He got all panicked and upset, and I eventually got it out of him that this is what his father always said to his mother. Apparently his father told him it was a surefire technique to have women never leave you because she will feel too low to cheat, will only love you, and will always be clean.
And we are live! Heavens to Betsy!
Needless to say, his father is wrong. He's packing his things and moving out of my house today. Thank God for advancements in research. I mean, it seems like just boomers were just making up their own psychological facts. Like they could be like, the term knock some sense into you is actually based on science. Research says that if you smack a child hard enough, then it'll reset their nervous system, and they're like 76% more likely to go to church. The kids would be like, source? And they'd be like, Papa. And Papa would be asleep in a rocking chair with 2 cigarettes in his mouth and dead, but nobody even knows it yet.
And now, here's Juan Marshall with the news. First, here is the...
But now, well, with the exception of the boyfriend, enough of us exist to where we see this story as complete lunacy, whereas like in the 50s, this would be the equivalent of a scholarly article. We've come a long way. That's my message, okay? Now, before we move on to the second one, 68% of you watched my last Reddit reading video and you didn't hit the button. Wait, why? You don't want to see a 32-year-old with permanent lumbar damage run through a public park? You don't want to see me pass away on camera? Why not? My husband has a second family. Update included.
Tiptoe through the tulips!
The ultimate cliche has happened in my life and I'm absolutely broken. My husband, my rock, has been having an affair for over 17 years. We have been married for over 25 years. We have 3 beautiful children, 2 in college and 1 who still lives at home. But turns out he's had another set this entire time.
By the window, that's where I'll be!
My husband is an insurance broker. He has multiple branches over the country, which he spends week on, week off. Turns out, on his week off, he's been with his other family in Albuquerque, where his other branch is. He's got a fiance whom he has 2 kids with, both in their early teens. I found out when I went to make a new Facebook account, and when I searched my husband's first name, another profile with another last name popped up. And through that profile were the links to his fiance's and his other kids' Facebooks. Dude, you used your same name? You didn't even try to disguise like the... Oh, you poor dipshit. My husband is currently with said family, and I know it's him because his most recent photo is a photo of him and that other family eating dinner. Among those photos were photos of him kissing the girl and him being fatherly with kids who look nearly identical to my husband. I am absolutely broken. Almost every part of me wants to scream in his face and reprimand him for ruining my life, but another part of me wants to pretend to be ignorant and let it be, because our life is peaceful. He's good with our kids. He's the main source of financial income. He's loving, but he's also all those other things to another family. Not only would I be tearing a gaping hole into my family, I'd be opening up a vortex for them too. Look, I'm just a stranger who has no idea about this level of pain, but you are not the vortex. He's the vortex. He's the one who started all this. You telling them would just be opening up a streamline of honesty that's probably desperately needed. But honestly, it might be better for you to tell them so that they can have their mother to grieve with, because what if they found this out on Facebook alone? Again, though, I don't know what I'm talking about. So my heart is in shambles. I've never cried so much in my life. My youngest son is currently on a graduation trip with friends, and I'm alone till my lying, cheating bastard husband comes home. My life is absolutely wrecked. It's literally a movie plot. I'm hoping he'll just come home and it'll be a big misunderstanding why he's kissing a woman with a ring on her finger.
You ruined two wives' lives at once. Two lovebirds, one stone.
I don't know what to do anymore. I'm tempted to pack a bag and just leave. I can't be in the home where we've raised our kids, where we spent nearly every Christmas for the last 26 years, and where I've been alone on New Year's taking care of our babies while he works his ass off. I just can't. I want to leave a note for him to come home to hurt him like he's hurt me, but I don't think that's possible. I don't know how I'll ever face him again. I almost hate to say this because he's just like a certified premium grade bag of shit, but it's almost impressive that you can pull this off for nearly 20 years. Like logistically, this is difficult. Even if you have the excuse of like a job, which tells me master manipulator. Yeah, if you could pull this shit off, you can talk your way out of, just about anything. This is a follow-up. Firstly, thank you all so much for the advice. I'm not in any good means with legal things, so all legal advice has been noted. I've rung an attorney. We are discussing the process. I've also been in contact with the other woman. I've told her, explained the situation, and she was equally as distraught. From what I'm aware, she's been financially independent from him, and they don't share property, so it seems very clean-cut on her behalf. My husband is aware of the fact that I know, and he is currently staying in a hotel, but he is unaware the other woman knows. I confronted him when he walked through the door. He started to cry and plead, and it was honestly kind of pathetic. I was crying too, but I've chosen to think of him as a pathetic coward for doing this, because he is. But anyways, I have my name on the property. We both do, so it's not like I can just kick him out, but he's chosen to stay away for my sake. He's in a hotel downtown where he calls every few hours to check up.
Stop checking up and start checking yourself.
I'm no longer sad. Well, I am, but I'm way more furious than sad currently. My kids still have no idea, and my youngest thinks my husband is just working more in Albuquerque because of a business problem. I'm still confused at how to tell them they have two half-siblings and two parents, one with an extra backup parent. But your kind words have been so helpful. Thank you guys so much. He's had two families for 17 years, and he got too cocky and too comfortable and thought he could have two Facebook pages with his same name on it and still be untraceable. He's like the BTK killer. Because, Mr. BTK, he got away with it for 30 years, and then he decided to send a Kansas radio station a floppy disk, and the police just showed up to his house and were like, hey, we can trace floppy disks. What? Yeah, there's data on it. Like, computers put it on there, but it's floppy. It doesn't, shake the data off? Or no? What? No. Who told you that, Papa?
Weather forecast from the United States Weather Bureau.
Well, like floppy disks, Facebook has data too, so good luck finding a third family. My fiance cheated on me with my father, update included. Me, 27 male, fiance, 26 female, call her L. My father, 52 male, call him B. My mother, 50 female, call her R. Cool, I will forget this immediately and often. My ADHD is already freaking out. I'll try and be as clear and precise as I can, but it's only been a week, so if I start to lose it during the telling of this, I'm sorry. Looking back, there were plenty of things I overlooked that I just wrote off thinking my father was just trying to welcome my ex to our family. Things like my father calling her all the time, and if I was around, they would just tell me they were talking about the upcoming family party or something along those lines. One time I was in the shower and her phone rang. I saw it and it was my dad. I answered, and when he realized it was me, he sounded both upset and surprised that I picked up. I then asked what's up, and he responded and he wanted to talk to Elle about my mother's birthday that was in a week, and after a minute we ended the call. Even typing this out now, I feel like an idiot for not seeing it sooner. Well, you're not an idiot. Honestly, if they were moments like this, then it would be more unusual that you did suspect something was going on. Like, well, not like unusual in a bad way, but just less common, because I think most people's brains just don't immediately go to, I think my fiance and my dad are in business together. I don't think that happens most of the time anyway, and especially in little moments like that. On the day I found out, it was like any other day. Elle had Thursdays off, so she made breakfast for both of us. When I set out for work, she gave me a kiss and told me to have a great day. During my drive to work, I realized I had forgotten some paperwork I would need for a meeting I had at 3 p.m. I shrugged it off and told myself I would just go home at lunch and get it.
I am more nervous than a narwhal trapped in a bedroom full of balloons.
Elle texted me throughout the day talking about all the casual stuff a couple talks about, like what do you want for dinner, I did the laundry, do you want me to hang it up for you, blah, blah, blah. I didn't think it was necessary to text her that I was coming home for lunch, so when it came around, I just left work and went home. When I got home, I noticed a car that looked like my father's in our parking lot, but I didn't think anything of it and just parked and went into our building. When I opened the door, I was met with a scene from a movie where a man comes home early and catches his spouse cheating. There was a trail of clothes, both his and hers, leading to my bedroom, and the sound of faint moans echoed through my apartment. I stood at the door in utter shock. My brain was a mix of rage, sadness, and disgust, but if you were a fly on my wall, you would see what looked like a statue. I just couldn't move. When I finally came to, I took out my phone to record. I picked up all the clothes that were on the floor and threw them in the hall of the building. After, I filmed the walk to my bedroom. The door was open. I stood in the doorway filming for about a minute and then flipped on the lights. They both jumped at the sudden light and looked at me. To my utter shock, it was my father in bed with her.
And lights, camera, action!
After the initial stun, my father noticed I was recording and started to panic, trying to find anything to cover himself and telling me to stop recording. He found a towel and wrapped it around himself and started to walk towards me. I told him, if you don't want to get hurt, stop coming to me. He either didn't care or he didn't hear me and reached for my phone. I hit him square on the jaw. His head bounced off the door and slumped to the ground. Elle shrieked. I aimed the camera at Elle and said, "Concerned about your F buddy, but nothing to say to your fiance?" My father woke up after about a minute nap, and I told him I just needed to come pick something up for work, so I'm headed back now. If either of you pieces of shit are here, when I get back, I'll send this video to everyone you know.
Just send it anyways, they're probably used to lies!
I ended the video, looked at my dad, who was still coming to, and said, "You're dead to me. You're no longer my father, but you might want to go home and talk to mom because I'll be talking to her very soon." Oh, God. Anybody need some juice or a warm towel or a defibrillator? Okay, so over the course of like several months, this guy included several update posts, and they're very long. So I consolidated it into very quick bullet points so you can see kind of like the aftermath of what went on after this. So basically the dad went home, said the son hit him for zero reason. What's the logic there? Because he has video footage of the contrary. And the mom instantly got angry when the son came and she blew up on him and called him names, called him an abuser. And he was like, "Oh, well, at least I'm not a cheater," and whipped out his phone, just like the ultimate mic drop. And the mom started weeping. The son essentially said, "Screw you for talking to me like that." And he kicked Elle out of the house, cut his dad out of his life, and he didn't speak to his mom for like 8 months. And then the mom and him finally got back in touch after like 8 months, and they sat down at like some restaurant and hashed it all out. And she said how sorry she was and how terrible she felt. And she said her anger just got the best of her because in the moment, all she really knew was her son just beat the shit out of his dad for no reason. So her argument was, well, I just flew into a blind rage. And then the son was like, "I forgive you, sort of. I'm going to need some time, but I sort of forgive you, and maybe later I will full forgive you." Then at the end of the conversation, she apparently dropped a huge nuclear bomb and said that Elle was pregnant, and they didn't know if it was the son's or the dad's. And that's the end of this story. That's all that was left. He apparently has not updated yet. We're just kind of left with that cliffhanger. Anyway, if you need something a little bit lighter, as like a palate cleanser, I have a video here in the top left of wholesome Reddit stories. I cried in this one. like more than once. And this coming week, I'll get into more green flag territory and we'll kind of get more into the positive side of things to kind of just balance out this madness. Okay, toodles.